Hello everyone and welcome back to the Brickmaker channel, and yes, I know it's been a while, but hopefully this video is going to, well, calm any sort of cravings you've had for old brick. If any of you guys missed some of the posts on the channel, yeah, it's been a bit of a busy time this point in the year, and I'll be honest, I was just experiencing a wee bit of burnout myself. However, with that though, I am finally back and bringing you a video that, well, probably should have been here a couple of months ago. Because this video and another Gears of War 1 video was meant to come out for the release of the Gears of War Remaster Ultimate Edition. And, well, let's just say I may have missed the deadline. In fact, I'd actually had both videos planned to come out the week that game came out. And I think trying to make two videos at once, I think that is potentially where the burnout came. However, that's all in the past now, and we are getting ourselves ready for a brand new challenge run. Better late than never. Can you beat Fallout 4 as Marcus Fenix? Oh, this video starts as they normally do in a hot, steamy room, but not just with Nate. This time, we're with big old Marcus. And yeah, just you'd think after all this time I would have got better at this, but I simply haven't. In terms of making his special skills, it was somewhat difficult. I really wanted to go into, tried to make him quite heavily Marcus, so extremely strong, high endurance, and everything else somewhat basic, but with only one luck. I mean, look at Marcus's life. He's not particularly lucky. We take a hop, skip and a jump after tickling our little baby, and finally arrive at the vault. We unfortunately have to see Anya go, well, the way that Anya goes, to be honest. And with revenge circulating through our body, we can go right back into Sarah, I mean the Commonwealth, and get ourselves ready for another war. Because as you guys will also agree, my favourite part of any Gears of War game is when Marcus Fenix gets his weapon and goes, "It's gearing time," and gears all over the place. This is also my very first YouTube video filmed on my brand new gaming computer, so I was able to download all these mods from the Nexus mod, giving me the Gears of War armor. I was also able to pick up more or less all of the Gears of War weapons from the chemistry station, but we'll still find some more out in the wastes. I absolutely love the designs of all these weapons. They look absolutely perfect compared to the versions that you find inside the Gears of War games. One thing I will mention here is that this entire game will be played in third person, because as you can see, first person is pretty weird. I mean, I also believe that a true Gears of War video would be played in third person as well. Mainly because I also downloaded the mod that made the game look more Gears of War in 3D, so let me guys know if you noticed anything different about how the game was played. I don't really notice a difference, but that's because I never play Fallout 4 in third person, so I mean, if this is different or if this isn't different, then I've got no idea. I'll also say now, you may notice that my ammo count is pretty damn high. Well, yeah, most Gears of War games you're not worrying too much about ammo, so instead of this video being a restriction run of me having no ammo throughout the entire game, I just kind of gave myself unlimited ammo for all times. Mainly so you guys can see at all moments me using the Gears of War weapons and not having to scrum my way and punch my way and gun bash my way through it. I also found a mod that changes the item pickup sound, so enjoy this.
Your time is impeccable. Preston Guard, Commonwealth minute. There we go.
Oh, don't that take you back to your childhood. I'll never forget playing Gears of War 1 on the very first Xbox 360, man. Ah, good times. Speaking of Gears of War 1, we may be on the verge of getting ourselves a Gears of 1 playthrough. So look out for that on the channel coming soon. I take a quick moment and snipe this poor raider who just didn't stand a chance, and finally face the first Deathclaw. And it's here that I realise that, yep, The Nasher shotgun is exactly like the Nasher shotgun from Gears of War. It'll either do massive damage or it'll do goddamn none. Luckily, the Lancer is much more reliable. And the only thing that I didn't quite like about the Lancer is that it made the sound of the assault rifle in Fallout 4. It didn't have its own unique sound. But I mean, other than that, an absolutely brilliant mod. And yeah, for anyone who's noticing the bottom of the screen is slightly cut off, yeah, I'm not so good with the OBS on my new computer. So I recorded it wrong. Hopefully for the next video we will have the bottom of the screen fully available. I too take a moment to look at the Gears of War helmet. For some reason it looks like a bowler hat on the floor. But when you put it on, I mean damn, that looks pretty damn sweet, doesn't it? This playthrough I will be, well, a good guy because marcusfenix overall is a pretty nice guy. So I will be playing, well, more of a, you know, a guy who helps out people. Meaning that raiders beware, you have no chance of avoiding my terrible long shots. A little peek behind the curtain here as well. If you're watching this video and thinking, what an odd time to be releasing a, well, Gears of War video. This gameplay was recorded right before the remaster of Gears of War came out. The gameplay of Gears of War 1 as well, that you hopefully will see soon, was also recorded before that game came out. And I suppose now is probably a good time to bring up what kind of happened. Like I said in the intro, well, there's been a bit of a gap, and I did say that I'd mention it later. More or less what happened was I had tried to speedrun recording this video and Gears of War 1 on insane difficulty. I also tried to get them both edited, audio done and released before, or at least the week of, the new Gears of War game coming out. All that with a combination of family visiting and work getting a little bit busier out of nowhere, I would say resulted in a pretty bad burnout. Which is why you're now getting this video, well, a couple months later. I do apologise for that, but instead of thinking about the time that we've missed, why not enjoy all these super mutants dressed up like Locust? Yep, this was another mod that I found where all the super mutants in the game are replaced with Locust and their weapons are replaced by, well, Locust weapons. They've got Locust armor, they've got Locust junk, and well, that's kind of it. It's all kind of aesthetic. The sounds and stuff are still the super mutants. God, I need something to bring my mood back up after seeing that Locust junk. There we go. Now we all feel better. But I will say now, with the mods that have been opened up for the Nexus and Vortex and all these different things, I do believe that our future Fallout 4 videos will hopefully introduce a lot more interesting ideas. So if there's any ideas that you guys have found on Nexus just from your own personal time looking through it, or any mods that you've played in the past that you'd love for me to try, leave a comment down below letting me, well, know about them. I will try my best to go through them and try them out as many as I can and see which ones could work for a fun video. Hopefully the next one won't be, well, a 2-month gap. At least I'm hoping not. With the Fallout TV show coming up, I mean, yeah, it would be silly for me to take another huge hiatus when that comes out next month. So I'll be aiming to make a video in the build up to that. Anyway, back to the video. We've taken out the Locust around Diamond City. We've been able to help out a bit of the Brotherhood, and now we got to go fight Nick. Because we're fans of robots? We're not fans of robots? I can't remember. I started forgetting what happened after Gears of War 3. I do, however, stumble upon the Boston Public Library. And it's here where I try and change my animation speed with the cheat terminal to try and give me more of that marcusfenix feeling when I'm walking. Because sometimes I feel like I'm just moving far too fast. The reason we're taking on the public library is because, well, it's crawling with Locust. And since I'm in the Commonwealth, I mean any sort of super mutant horde that I can find will have to be taken out before I can complete this challenge. I love the introduction of wretches. I think they actually look really, really good. I think it's my favourite part of the mod. I mean, the Locust drones look okay, but it does just kind of look like bluey, grey kinds of super mutants. But another great addition is the ticker beacon. That is something that we will get to enjoy in a little bit. I don't think I even noticed that I'd picked it up in that moment. I found it later on in my inventory. God, I'm getting all hot and bothered. I need a break. There we go. Take me back to a simpler time. And don't worry, I promise I'm not going to do that for every single pickup in this game. I was just really enjoying it for the start of this video. But there's no time to discuss my cog tag and how much I'm picking it up. It's time to fight on the side of the robots, which I think I'm a friend of, or not, I don't know. But we've got to take out the Locust, and you might notice there that there is a ticker on the floor. That Locust ticker was thrown by me. It's a grenade. They have ticker grenades, and I'm just in love with that. I'm pretty sure they just used the sprite of his ticker and then put that over a mole rat mine. But now that I'm thinking about it, the fact that we weren't allowed to throw mole rat mines at random enemies is another huge missed opportunity. And I'm feeling so goddamn good about this mod that I decided that I'm going to go wipe out Swan. I mean, I mainly wanted to wipe out Swan because it says that the behemoths were also changed. But I think because Swan is unique, he didn't get the upgrade. So I take him out pretty easily and head into Park Street Station. Park Streets is, well, as it usually is, small enemies, low levels, no armor, and the Nasher shotgun will either wipe them out in one shot or take them out in 20. God damn it, I love the Nasher. One weapon that I don't have to worry about its damage is the long shot, and after I've wiped out an entire platoon of people, I make my way back into the vault. And I mean, they really don't have any chance. If you're going to use this mod from the start of a game, well, you're not going to have any difficulty. The armor's powerful. The weapons are extremely powerful as well. Except when you forget to goddamn reload them. 1 second, Dino. I will get to you. Very polite of him to wait. You probably heard that door open. Didn't even consider turning around even for a glance. And I meet up with Robot Castiel. We have a quick chat about, I don't know. We then start making our way slowly out of the vault, and I decided to finally give the bolt talk a try, and bloody hell. I mean, that is a hand cannon if I've ever seen one. And yeah, that's pretty accurate to the game, I'd say. I then reach Skinny Malone and decide that I want to try my best at using the ticker. I did pretty well, right? Nah, it's at this point that I realise it doesn't matter who throws the ticker grenade, the ticker will always find the player as the enemy, so it's one of these very odd weapons where it's so fantastic, but you can't use it. There's no way you can use it. It's teasing me. And the only person allowed to tease me is Nick Valentine, teasing me with those beautiful eyes. I approach back and we get discussing about my missing son. Not even for a second do I remember what is Marcus's son's name. I've never played Gears of War 4 and 5. I stopped at 3. His name is Jaden. That's my guess. I'm not going to look at my phone and check. I mean, should tell you all you need to know about Marcus and his relationship to his son. I don't know why I said that. I have no idea what Marcus' relationship with his son is. Honestly, I should play Gears of War 4 and 5. I really should at some point. Pretty sure I've got Gears of War 5 on Steam. Well, when I release the Gears of War 1 video, maybe we can do that as well. Maybe we can play Gears of War 4 and 5 together for the first time. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just going to kill these mole rats with my big old shotgun. I hope you guys have missed this. I hope you guys have missed the nonsense, the ramblings of a madman for 13 minutes, sorry. I never scripted these videos before and I surely haven't yet. Maybe I should. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? It's the first video back for a very long time. This is the biggest hiatus we've ever had on this channel. Do you still appreciate the rambling nonsense of these gameplay commentaries? Or should it be a little bit more focused? It's hard to say. Well, it's not hard to say. You guys tell me in the comments down below. For anyone who's listening to this on audio and not watching the video, well, we are currently in Fort Hagen wiping out all the robots. We're not friends of these robots. These robots are not our friends. We like the other robots, but not these robots. These robots tried to steal my son. My precious, precious son. Oh, I can see his face now as a baby. His name is... Nah, still not coming back to me. How about you, Kellogg? Do you remember my son's name? Because I certainly don't. You looked after him for a long time. I keep hearing Jared. Jared's the only name that keeps coming in my head. Is it Jared? Is his name Jared? Is it Harry Potter? Is he the boy who lived come to die? Okay, we're back in the Robot Man's office. We have taken out Kellogg, got something out of his brain, and noticed that the Brotherhood of Steel have arrived. We have then got to start hopping through his brain and figure out what happened to our precious boy. But before we do that, let's make sure we wipe out any Locusts that we can see when we actually start running into some of our first legendary Locusts. Unfortunately, that does not mean they have legendary Locust weapons, which is somewhat unfortunate. We get a nice warm welcome when entering into Good Neighbor. How the hell did I miss again? I promise I'm much better with the long shot in Gears of War. And in fact, something that you guys may find somewhat interesting is that I finished playing Gears of War 1 before this video. And that kept messing with my head. If you ever see me randomly gun bash, it's because I was trying to reload. Also, I picked up McCready because I wanted a companion cog, and I don't know, he just seemed like the best fit. And speaking of fits, he looks like a pretty damn fine cog soldier. I'm saying cog, not the other word that sounds like cog. I've not even seen that. We get into the world's most uncomfiest chair, my head is somehow spun around, and I get sent straight into the Matrix. Looking for cereal or something, I don't know. I also found out that if you walk away from your computer, this scene just replays over and over again. I didn't know that, I had no idea. With myself loaded up with fresh memories of my boy, my precious boy, I'm now heading towards the glowing sea, which has a huge Locust stronghold just along the way. And it's here that I finally run into, well, more of the same. There are alternate skins for the Locust in this mod, but I haven't got to a high enough level for them to start spawning in yet. So I'm just wiping out all of the same looking people. I will say though, the fact that they have much better weapons does make it somewhat harder, but not as hard as trying to take out this random gunner corporal. Where is he? I can't see him. What has the mod done? Because there's blood there and I can still talk to him. After interacting with that ghost, no, this isn't the Dean Winchester video, get out of here ghost. I also attack the random wreckage spot where all the Locusts sit in as well. It is here that we start seeing different names for the Locust, like this one here is called a Pharaon Guard, but you'll notice he doesn't have any of the Pharaon Guard stuff. However, that does change in the future, so get ready to see that. Ooh, foreshadowing. I sprint across the glowing sea. I do stop along the way to pop into this church to wipe out all of the different ghouls down there. I gotta be honest, I'm not sure why I was doing this. It wasn't part of any sort of challenge, but it did give a good chance to show off the Hammerburst Iron Sight, which if you've ever played Gears of War, you'll know that you can look down the sight of this weapon and this weapon only, so that's the only weapon I'm allowed to use in first person. And if I'm perfectly honest, watching this back now, so many months later, I've got no idea why I even came down here. Was I hoping just to pick up legendary weapons and see if they were different? Yeah, that part, that doesn't usually get into the videos. I just thought I'd leave it in because I can't even imagine why I was doing that. But one fight you do usually have to do is the Deathclaws sleeping outside of Virgil's cave. Luckily for me, I've got some sneak on my side and we eventually reach Virgil, who's also been changed to a Locust, which I think is quite a nice touch because with Swan not getting changed, the fact that Virgil did is pretty nice. We learn that some of the Locusts were potentially made inside the Institute, so our number one priority now is getting ourselves into that special place. I step on a mine, and finally enter Green Tech Genetics. We run into a few different turrets, and finally gunners that we can actually see. I do end up getting myself caught in a little bit of a spot of bother, but I hop, skip and a jump later and I'm able to start passing my way through all the different stairwells. Fighting your way through the different staircases full of gunners is, well, it's usually a little bit more interesting in other videos because, well, sometimes these are modded and they have different weapons. This time they're just getting in the way, and after battling my way through I eventually reach all the ice mines because for some reason I always struggle on this bridge. I believe I am safe, but the missile guy still gets me. Told you, that bridge is not safe. It's a spooky bridge. I don't like that bridge. We eventually pass through and get ourselves up to the final elevator, and after taking out the last of the machine gun turrets, we eventually reach the courser, C247, and as is tradition, I missed my very first long shot. He still seems open to having a conversation, which is nice, but after he goes invisible just like the gunner from before, it's not too much of a difficult battle as McCready is on his ass. His blue laser gives him away and we take out the courser. We get ourselves the courser chip, and with that we can start making our way towards the railroad. It's here that I want to stop off and take out another big nest of super mutants. And it's where we can finally start noticing some of the different skin changes. Because it's here that we encounter our very first boomer. And not only is he a Locust boomer, he actually has the Locust boom shot himself. Which is just absolutely bloody fantastic to see. And a very nice touch to the mod. He's just as tanky and just as dangerous. But after taking a slightly more cautious path, we eventually reach the boomer and we get in pretty close to him, making sure he can't blow us up from close range even though he tried. And we're able to pick up the heavy boom shot and his boomer. Ah! Bloody hell, I didn't know Gears of War was a horror game. Yes, we have the heavy boom shot, which is, again, I'm not sure which one of my mods put these in the game. I think it's the one that changes them into Locust. But an absolute fantastic addition, and for some reason just feels a lot slicker and easier to use than a missile launcher. Marcus has no problem using Locust weapons, and after speaking to the railroad, we have absolutely no problem at all getting this brain chip decoded. After that we head back to Virgil. After he gives us a signal intercept our plans, we have to make a decision on who we're going to side with. And the only one that made any sort of sense to me was the Brotherhood, as they had big old fancy armor just like me, and use heavy weapons just like me. Before we can get on with that though, we gotta head over to ArcJet. I mean, we are unbelievably over leveled for ArcJet in this moment, so I'll try not to bore you too much with the details. All you got to know is that I blew up a lot of simps and had a lot of fun using my new toy. I struggled my way through more machine gun turrets with the Nasher, and eventually tried to cook Paladin Dance alive. Because, well, I can't think of any lower reason I'd do this. It's just because Marcus wanted to. And poor old McCready has been stuck out there getting cooked himself. We take out the last of the Sims so we can find a deep range transponder. Transmitter, I don't know what we're looking for some sort of radio. After picking up our improved comms, we can head back and officially join the Brotherhood of Steel, which is kinda like joining the COG army, except with fancier suits and fancier weapons. Even McCready liked that, and that's all that matters. We hop ourselves onto a King Raven and start heading towards the Pridwin, where we get to meet the whole crew. We get to meet the man with the coolest hat in the entire game. We get to hear a speech of a man in an oversized coat. And we get to meet all the friends and family that we're gonna make on this big old adventure. With them all spoken to and buttered up, The first mission that we've got is to get sent to the biggest Locust stronghold and wipe them all out. I mean, colour me bloody excited. I have to take the King Raven that's sitting on top of the beach because it never spawns on the Pridwen properly for me. Even the other Brotherhood guys are shooting it, which is... I don't know, does this happen to anyone else? It happens every playthrough. I don't know if it's just... I don't know if it's just my PC or... But even on the Steam Deck it did this as well, so... I don't get it. Now luckily for me, Gatling guns are all good. And that means this Locust Mauler has absolutely no chance. And the Locust Mauler is what replaces the Behemoth. After a few other King Ravens get shot down by... I was going to say Nemesis, but it's actually the Mauler just throwing rocks at them. We eventually wipe him out. And we're able to safely land. And get a nice close-up of all these new outfits. This is what I meant from before in the video. It's at this point I've hit a decent enough level where the Locusts are really starting to change all of their different skins. Meaning that we're going to have a lot more fun things to look at. The first one being this Pharaon Guard. That is unbelievably cool. Just a damn shame he didn't have a torque bow on him. A real damn shame. But he actually ended up having a Nasher shotgun, which I thought was quite interesting. It shows that even the Locusts are able to start picking up some of the COG weapons. Which I didn't know those mods were connected, but they seem to be somewhat interlooping now. After that we're also able to check out the Mauler. I mean, bloody hell. I mean, it's a lot smaller than the Behemoth, but doesn't that just look bloody cool? With that we head deeper into the fort and start wiping out all the Locusts we can find. They're not too difficult to take out, it's just a lot of basic drones down here. And after breaking into the old General's office, we pick up a mini nuke that we never end up using, and watch as McCready gets chased by a wretch. This one's called a Shrieker Wretch, which is different. I didn't think wretches had different names. However, as we go further into the base, we do find ourselves our first Locust Boomer in here, which actually ends up being pretty damn powerful and pretty hard to get past. He's pretty accurate with his boom shot, I'll give him that. But we're finally able to move on with our Lancer. We tell Paladin Dance the good news, and get fully accepted into the Brotherhood, allowing us to build our Go Interceptor. After a few bits and bobs, a few screwdrivers and nuts all screwed in, we have our very first teleporter. Not quite a grind lift, but it'll do. And it sends us deep into the caverns, right into the Institute, where we believe the Locust Horde has been coming from. We get in deeper, circle down some nice fancy elevators, and oh my god, it's him. It's our son. Sean, that doesn't sound right. I can't believe it. We meet all the friends and all the fancy folk, and most importantly, Dr. Lee, who sends us in deeper into the Institute so we can learn the real truth of the Locust. And Virgil and all of the things that happened. We find more robots that we can't trust, but we end up blowing them to high hell anyway. I mean, yep, come on, there we go, well done Marcus. We get caught in crossfires, we get caught in huge battles, but eventually, there they are. It's been revealed, the Institute and Virgil, they've been making the Locust. I can't believe it. Dr. Lee was like, aight, I'm out, fuck this. And I head straight back, and I'm like, not today. We can't let this happen again. We can't let another era get infected by the Locusts, and we let Maxim know that we've taken out the majority of their production facility and their head leader. With that, we're able to focus on more of taking out the actual people who built the Institute. And we're going to do that with a giant robot, which I don't think we had in Gears of War 1, 2 or 3. If we had it in 4 and 5, let me know, but giant robot, that sounds pretty Gears to me. And as Marcus always says, that famous line, it's gearing time, and he gears all over the place. Now normally at this point in the playthrough I would just, stop. I'd go buy the high powered magnet. I wouldn't bother going to fight anyone at the Medford Medical Facility. But I decided that this time, well, it would make more sense to go and actually battle them over here because, well, it's going to be full of Locust and that's pretty gears to me. It's as the usual as any other trip to the Medford facility. We battle through a bunch of different types of drones. We don't really meet too many interesting ones. We do get trapped by a few wretches here and there. But after a lot of fighting and a lot of getting lost on these staircases like I normally do, we eventually reach the back of the facility and find ourselves a high powered magnet. With the magnet acquired, we head back to the airport and we start building. With those built, we head back over to Proctor Ingram and get told we gotta get sent off and pick up all of Liberty Prime's ammunition. They send us to the Sentinel site, the big old pyramid in the glowing sea, and I end up spending a lot of time trying to take a shortcut. It eventually works. I make my way down, and is there anything more satisfying than blowing up a huge group of ghouls with an explosive? I don't think there is. And if there is, I haven't found it yet. I get absolutely bum rushed by Atom's Wrath, and I quickly get reminded just how powerful Assaultrons can be. And after taking a little bit more of a precautionary tale this time, I eventually wipe him out with the Lancer, the always good old backup Lancer. I set down my distress pulsar, run into a glowing ghoul, which I actually haven't fought too many of this playthrough, and start activating Liberty Prime. I then get told that I gotta go make the hardest decision of my life. I get sent to Elder Maxim where he lets us know about what's happened. What happened with Paladin Dance, and just what we have to do.
Marcus, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, man.
No. It's okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I love you so much.
You're all monsters, everyone, every single one of you. Maybe the realization is that humans are just as big a monsters as any other monster we find. And with that, well, there's just no point of anything sacred anymore. So let's go wipe out the railroad. Because at least we know they're evil. I think. I can't remember. Anyway, boom shot! Oh, it's always good fun to blow up the railroad. There's nothing will make you feel better than heading down into the railroad HQ and blowing Deacon's sunglasses straight off his stupid face. I will admit though, Gloria, she put up a hell of a fight. It was pretty difficult. I mean, McCready is already on his ass. But luckily for us, we have plenty of stims. And well, like I said before, plenty of ammunition. So, with the Lancer out, we eventually wipe out the last of them and take out Deacon as well. We're starting to get near the end of the game here, so before we hit up and get ourselves the Beryllium Agitator, I thought it was only appropriate to also wipe out Trinity Tower. Since to me this seems to be the place that has probably the most Locusts in the entire game. Not too many variants up on this one, but still a rather difficult fight no matter what level you're at. Just plenty of them all lying around. And after battering away all the way up to the roof, we eventually meet up with the only named Locust on this building. His name is Fist. And yeah, I don't think he changed any sort of looks as well. He's still got that goddamn fucking minigun. And I think they just put him to be like a boomer. And I swear man, the boom shot just doesn't do much direct damage at all. Still a fun weapon though. We eventually save Rex and we find that we've now got a Locust as a friend. And with our last tag picked up for this playthrough, we gotta then work our way down the elevator and eventually out to the front gate. We find that, well, he's somewhat agreeable. With the Locust horde more or less fully finished, the only thing left to do is to take out the Institute, and that means we gotta fly to mass fusion. We board that vertibird, and I always love the fact that it tells us that we fail all the other missions, especially ones for Institute, as if there was any way that we were going to be able to bring this relationship back. Flying around this building is just as exciting as it always is, because this time I actually get to fire back. There's a lot of playthroughs where I can't even shoot back, so it's nice to be able to finally use the Gatling gun. After we take out the majority of the simps, we jump down to the building and start clearing them out the old fashioned way. We take a nice fun elevator ride down to the bottom, making sure we take out as many simps along the way, because why not? It's not like the bullets aren't free. All the flashing and nonsense happening on my screen though did start giving me a little bit of anxiety because I can't really see what's going on. But eventually I do reach the room where the beryllium agitator is nice and ready for us. We pop as much Rad-X as we can, get ourselves full of Radaway, and we eventually reach our special new power source. Let's just hope it doesn't use emotion. Am I right? Am I right? No time to discuss how right I am, because we gotta fight our way through some sentry bots. And yeah, you know what? Not playing this game for a while, you forget just how strong a sentry bot really can be. Especially when half the time they end up being Securitrons. But with them taken out, we can make our way back, and we've learned from before, Assaultrons are nothing to be messed with. And especially playing this game in third person, you find yourself getting stun locked a lot in animations, which just simply doesn't happen in first person. If you get kind of flustered and, I don't know, like stunned, in first person you can just keep shooting, but for some reason in third person, if your character does an animation, it completely locks up your ability to even fight. However, we eventually do make our way back to the airport, and we stick our long hard rod right into Liberty Prime's back. I've got to be honest, he seems pretty stoked about that. We then release him from his bounds and get him all ready to go out there and fight our enemies. I'll tell you now, I didn't do the walk with him, I just fast travelled right to CIT Ruins. However, thinking back to it, that means that we missed the behemoth super mutant scene on the bridge where he grabs him, and I actually regret that deeply. However, no time to think about missed opportunities now, we've got Sims to destroy. And after we just wipe out as many as possible, Liberty Prime decides that he's going to use his big old death ray and finally blow a hole right into the ground, allowing us to start filtering back into the Institute. Like I said, it ain't no grind lift, but it'll have to do. And you know what? It feels a little bit more familiar. Jumping into a random hole in the ground to go fight, well, this time it's humans, but there's no time to worry about that. We get given the light mass bomb, and the more that I think about it, the story of Fallout 4 and Gears of War is somewhat similar, just with a little bit of a different coat of paint, really. With the light mass bomb in our back pocket, we start fighting our way through, get ourselves into another little hole in the ground, which just seems to be our forte. And I decide to wipe out the gorillas as well, because yep, I ain't got really a reason, they came after me, so the gorillas got it just as bad as the Locust and the Sims did. A shame, damn shame. I don't think there's any sort of gorillas in Gears of War. I can't think of a reference. I remember they've got a mini mech suit that they use in Gears of War 3 at the start of the game. In my head that was called the gorilla something, but that's the only reference I can think of. I punch our son father straight in the face, and battle our way right into the depths where the big old reactor is. Once we get down there, there is a couple of special synths, but nothing that the boom shot can't handle. Luckily for me, synths are just like ghouls, and if you hit them hard enough in the knees, they can just stop walking, making them easy to pick off for the Brotherhood. We attach the fusion pulse charge straight to the reactor. We'll wait for us to get beamed up to the mothership, which for some reason always takes a little bit awkwardly long. I mean, what do you even talk to Maxon about at this point? And we get sent a very difficult decision. Difficult? No, I meant easy. No, you can't come with me, you bitch. Get out of here. Sending us to the roof, letting us set off the light mass bomb, answering the question that yes, you can indeed beat Fallout 4 as Marcus Fenix. Well guys, I hope it was worth the wait. It's been a long time and this has been the first video in, well, as I'm doing this audio, about 3 months, so oh god, I do apologize guys. I will do my best to try and keep these videos a little bit more frequent in the future. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a comment and leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We're nearly at 10,000, I cannot believe. And keep your eyes out for my next video. I'm hoping to do something a little bit Fallout TV show themed, but I've just got to do a little bit more research into it and decide exactly what kind of video I want to make. If you guys have any suggestions down below, please feel free to leave them, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.